Hello everyone, Fredrex here. Today is the first video, the first review of my most favorite Godzilla era throughout the entire franchise. This is the Millennium era. Got a little mixed up right there, got confused. So today's first review will be Godzilla 2000. That was released here in America since 2000. Pretty much like the movie came out originally in Japan in 1999, and then it came out until August of 2000. Pretty much like we do have a history with this movie. Pretty much like a lot of people have different opinions on this movie. Like some people likes it, some people doesn't, and pretty much like it should be like the improved Godzilla movie we all wanted since 1998 when the American Zilla movie ruined everything. Pretty much like it was so hated in Japan. And Toho really wants to bring back Godzilla with another celebration. And pretty much like they were really mad of Zilla, so they want to bring Godzilla right back. Ever since 1995, they killed him off to be the last of since Godzilla vs. Destroyer. That movie is so sad and depressing. So they killed him off, and it was pretty much supposed to be the last Godzilla film until 1998 film came along, and they got mad, so they have to bring him back. So here's the movie for you. Here's the movie for all of us, Godzilla 2000. And pretty much like this movie's not much to say about it. The story is pretty much just is okay. Like most of the story is really neat. Basically, it just started when Godzilla returned. Like it's pretty much a reboot series. Like this, pretty much another reboot. Pretty much like Godzilla 2000 came along around Japan, whenever he wants, and pretty much like I really love the way how Toho gave him a really awesome update on his look, a really awesome update looking version of him since 2000. Like they made him look a little black colored and made his spines purple and makes him look huge. Like he looks awesome. Like he is pretty much like one of my most favorite Godzilla designs in my top 5, pretty much. And Godzilla just looks so awesome as he is. And pretty much like the way that Godzilla is, and pretty much when the color of his fire breath, they change his fire breath into fiery orange red for some reason, because pretty much it's an okay change, but pretty much everyone always know about the original Godzilla always uses his atomic blue breath when it's colored blue. So fiery red, it's okay. So pretty much like throughout the movie, there's this group of humans, well basically like some people do kind of care about. I don't care about the humans too much in this movie, but yeah, these group of humans called the GPA network chasing down Godzilla and try to study on him. And pretty much the other thing is the military is trying to kill him. But the other thing is, he can't. He can't be taken down by the military. Why? Because he's a giant force of nature, and he is what he is. Godzilla is just a giant monster that just doesn't get killed by missiles or anything like that. That's what Godzilla really is. And pretty much like in the scenes when they chase down Godzilla to collect his cells and study on his cells to check out deeper in his DNA cells and everything, pretty much like his skin regenerates every time when it gets wounded. And that's why Godzilla doesn't get taken down like that, because pretty much like, yeah, that's what Godzilla is throughout all the movies. He doesn't get taken down by missiles or anything that the military tries to shoots down on him, but he still keeps going. And the other thing is, like, and most of the movie, they're trying to figure out, like, how to just get through this situation of this mysterious silver flying saucer, and they found it deeply underwater, and pretty much, like, the theories they're telling them, like, pretty much, like, this alien saucer landed on Earth thousands of years ago and tried to take over the world to kill all the humans until awakens, and when they found it, it flies away, and then it just runs towards Godzilla and tries to take him down. And the other thing is, when the saucer is being taken down by Godzilla, like halfway, the saucer is still moving, but it just lands down, and then the rocks just get out of the silver looking into the saucer, and it just continues flying around the world, and then actually around Japan, and then it just went on top of the tall buildings around Japan in Tokyo, and pretty much like using its powers to check down like deeply into the internet of what Godzilla really is, like studying what Godzilla really is, like checking out the internet and everything. Like, it's pretty interesting. Like, this alien is trying to figure out what Godzilla is, and they'll try to kill him. And the other thing is, when it gets to the ending of the movie, like, pretty much like the military forgot about Godzilla until he shows up, you know? And then the fight with Godzilla with the flying saucer is pretty epic. Like, pretty much the saucer is like using his powers to move the cable wires underground into the city, like grabbing Godzilla and try to take him down. And pretty much when the saucer is trying to take his energy away. And pretty much when the saucer shapeshifts, like, the CGI is pretty cheap looking, but at the time, but it's okay. And pretty much like it shapeshifts into a kaiju called Orga. And pretty much like some fans love this villain as Orga. Like, Orga himself, he has a really complicating backstory, so I don't want to explain all that because it's too much to handle. So yeah, Orga, he's a pretty cool character, a pretty cool evil kaiju to try to take down Godzilla and kill all the humans that he can. And pretty much like he's pretty much like the aliens from, he's pretty much like has that design look into the aliens from Independence Day. And the other thing is the fight with Godzilla and Orga is pretty cool. Like, pretty much not one of the best fights, but Orga kind of sucks at the fight. Like, he just gets taken down by him pretty easily. And the other end of the flying saucer gets killed and exploded by Godzilla with his atomic breath. And the other thing, even though with Orga's trying to bite him, trying to take away his powers, his energy, trying to take his energy away, so Orga will become a clone version of him. Which is pretty weird. Like, Orga just wants to become an evil clone of Godzilla, which is pretty odd. And the other thing is, when Godzilla's taking him down really quickly, and so Orga, like, he's really wounded really bad, so he opened his mouth up, Godzilla went into his mouth, and Orga's trying to eat him up, which is pretty weird. So, it's really, really weird. And pretty much, like, uh-oh, he's, like, you can notice from the spines glowing red until Godzilla blasts him from the inside. Like, that's just, whoa, it just blows up. Like, it just blew up Orga's head, he fell down, and he faded away into dust. And Godzilla won the fight, which is pretty cool. And the other thing is, when the humans are looking at Godzilla, when they're staring at Godzilla in the fight with the alien, and pretty much they're focusing, like, what's going on, and pretty much the humans were just acting like, they act like idiots sometimes, and pretty much like the 12-year-old girl, like, acts like an adult all the time. Which is really weird. Like, just weird. And the human villain, Kamigiri, which is, that is the only name I know throughout the whole movie, like, so yeah, Kamigiri gets taken down by Godzilla really quickly, just murdered him when he just fell down to his death down into the building right in front of Godzilla. Then Godzilla left. And pretty much the humans find out that Godzilla wants to protect the humans around Japan. And they're like, why he wants to protect us? And the guy, one of the main humans says, maybe because he's inside of each one of us. So yeah, Godzilla's doing kind of a crappy job protecting your country, your territory. So it's just an ending that doesn't make a lot of sense. And pretty much in the ending of the credits, it's pretty much going to tell us in the DVD it's going to have a sequel. Until then, in the VHS, they kicked off the ending scene on the VHS tape. And pretty much like Toho, just like the producers, the directors want to remind Toho, like they would just throughout the rest of the Millennium era, they want to make each movie just nothing but alternate time periods to the original, which is a pretty lazy idea. Like, each of the Millennium movie are reboots. Like, ignore all the previous Godzilla movies except the original 54. Which is odd. Like, I just do understand since the Heisei era was a reboot series. But the Millennium series, like, each movie in this era are reboots. Except Godzilla X Mechagodzilla with Tokyo SOS are both following movies to each other. So yeah, that was Godzilla 2000. It's a really good movie. Not one of the best, though. It does have some flaws, and most of the storylines is kind of... It's good, like, pretty neat, though, but it's not the best. Not one of the best movies throughout the Godzilla franchise. So yeah, I do give Godzilla 2000 a shot if you haven't seen it yet. So I definitely give this movie a solid 8 out of 10. A really good Godzilla movie, but it could have been better. It's really okay. Like pretty much most of all the movie, it's okay. Like Godzilla and Orga are really cool kaijus in the movie, and you'll probably love the movie. Like pretty much I like the movie, and pretty much you'll love the movie too. It depends on you. So anyways, that was with Godzilla 2000 out of the way. Stay tuned next time for the next review of Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. So I have to do another review of the series, so you guys should stay tuned for Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla until the end of my review series of this month. So hopefully this might end well. So take care guys, and stay tuned for the next one, and have a good one. Take care.